Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy EG. Now, I know what you're thinking. You just released a video today. Why are you releasing another one? Well, because I'll tell you. We just got some big news out of the Daily Wire that they're going to be making their own Snow White featuring the queen of YouTube who has come out of nowhere and taken over YouTube just like I'm trying to do. Brett Cooper. Brett Cooper just got engaged too, so good for her. That doesn't look like that's going to be happening in my future anytime soon because, you know, my relationship just went... But it's okay. I got you guys, so, you know what? I don't know if I need a relationship anymore. It's like the Spice Girls said, if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Not, like, physically, but, you know, emotionally. Let's take a look at this trailer that just got released featuring Brett Cooper as Snow White.
Once upon a time.
That's Brett singing, I believe. She was on Broadway and stuff.
In time a prince would come.
Looks pretty good.
Once upon a time, but now that time is gone.
I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Ah, I love the big reveal. All right, so I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. You're thinking, hey, how is Disney not suing these guys for making this rip-off Snow White? And I'll tell you why. Because Snow White is actually not a Disney character. I mean, she's a Disney character, but she wasn't originally. She comes from the Grimm fairy tales. Those old books, I think they come from like German, which were a lot darker. Like these were a lot darker stories than what you're used to and what we grew up on. And my personal beliefs are that I think this is a really good thing for the Daily Wire. Obviously, they're not going to be able to compete with Disney. Disney is making a crap ton more money than the Daily Wire makes. With that said, though, according to Jeremy on his take, he knows that they're not going to be able to compete with Disney, but if they can affect their profits so much that it stops Disney from making their woke propagandist movies, then he considers he did his job. And I think that's a great thing, personally, because I think people go to the movies to escape the reality of what's going on in the world. They don't go to get more of it jammed down their face. But that's not why I'm here to talk today. I've come across this article from a place called Clutch Points. I guess it's a story by some guy named Josh Silverstein. They must be like hella left wing because this dude goes in on the fact that they're making Snow White, which is funny because he makes so many points about how conservatives are a bunch of haters when he writes this article. So I'm just going to read through this article and we're going to talk about it, okay? Okay, so we just got done watching a clip of Brett Cooper as Snow White. Let's check out this article that I was talking to you about. So I'll leave a link in the description for this article. The Daily Wire looked itself in the magic mirror and asked, who is the fairest and balanced of them all? And much like the evil queen didn't like the response that they got, the conservative news firebrand apparently feels there's not enough division and too much inclusivity in the world at present. So they're making their own Disney live-action version of Snow White in response to the latest far-right backlash over the Disney live-action remake of the fairy tale. First off, I just want to say that I don't think that people are mad at inclusivity. If anything, there's less inclusivity, right? You're removing the dwarves, right? So there goes one big thing that you guys just lost. Secondly, I don't think people are mad that there's inclusivity. I think they're mad that you're taking a beloved character and flipping it on its head. So let's get back to the article. In case you don't spend your days festering over Disney's production changes to princess movies like most of the current Republican Party does, here's a quick recap. Far-right conservatives have grown quite angry at Disney for making changes to the ethnicity of its lead characters from its animated classic movies as it remakes them into live-action films. I don't know. It sounds like you're the one who seems like you're obsessing over it. I feel like people from both sides get angry when you take characters and you present us with something that looks nothing like the character we're used to. Is it so hard to just give us what we want? Like, is it so hard to see a character that you've known? Here's a perfect example. Miles Morales, right? He's a great Spider-Man. Why? Because he doesn't try to be Peter Parker. He's Spider-Man, but he's his own version of Spider-Man. They didn't take Peter Parker and just turn him into a black man. They created another character to go alongside Peter Parker. That is how you incorporate inclusivity. Stan Lee was a genius for that one. Although I don't know if he was actually the one who made Miles Morales. Anyway, let's get back to the article. The backlash against the talented Halle Berry's casting as the live-action Ariel from The Little Mermaid simply for being a person of color was incredibly sad, racist, and whatever the opposite of life-affirming is. So basically, this person's saying if you didn't like Halle Berry as Ariel, then you're sad and you're racist and you're the opposite of whatever life-affirming is. Listen, again, and I'm going to probably sound like a broken record here, but people aren't mad that, you have someone like Halle Berry in the movie. What they're mad is that you took Ariel, someone who is a beloved figure that girls have been singing since they were little, and made her look nothing like the Ariel that we all grew up with. People don't like change. Like, that's really what it comes down to, is just people just don't like change. Like, can you imagine if they made a Pokemon movie, right, and they made Pikachu like an actual rat? That people would be pissed. It's kind of like the same. It's like the same thing. They want the cute, fluffy thing that they're used to. It's not that hard of a concept to understand. I don't understand why this is such a big deal to these people. Anyway, let's keep going. More recently, Disney announced plans to remake its very first animated fairy tale princess film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, as a live-action film starring rising Latina actress Rachel Zegler. Boo. I'm just kidding. I don't even know who that girl is. Conservative critics took particular umbrage with this aim for diversity, since Snow White is described in the original Brothers Grimm telling of the story as having skin as white as snow. Well, yeah, hence the name Snow White. They're also angry about Disney updating the Seven Dwarfs characters into a diverse collection of magical creatures of varying sizes and genders. Yeah, because they're supposed to be seven dwarfs, bro. Like, what are you not getting about this? It's not Snow White and the seven varying sizes and genders magical creatures. First off, that name sucks. Secondly, people like dwarves. Dwarves are fun. Actually, I think Peter Dinklage came out and said that it's stereotypical to cast dwarves as dwarves, like to cast small people as dwarves in movies because it's like offensive or whatever. But personally, I think that's just Peter Dinklage trying to secure his spot as the lead midget in like Hollywood. I'm sorry, lead little person in Hollywood. The article goes on to say, "Great hill to die on, conservatives," with an exclamation point. How dare Disney update century-old fairy tales whose original versions feature graphic violence, child abuse, anti-Semitism, incest, and misogyny? Isn't it funny how they added anti-Semitism to this, considering they know what their party's like cheering on right now as far as the Israeli and Palestine conflict? Everything's finished with an exclamation point too. Why are they getting on the Daily Wire about this when Disney was the ones who first remade it? Like, Disney's doing the same exact thing. How dare Disney updates century-old fairy tales whose original versions feature graphic violence? First off, I would love to see a violent-ass Snow White. I think that would be awesome. I don't want to see no child abuse or anti-Semitism, definitely no incest, but maybe a little bit of misogyny. The article goes on to say, more backlash arose from Ziegler's poignant comments, speaking out in favor of changes in which she noted people are making these jokes about ours being the PC Snow White, where it's like, yeah, it is, because it needed that. She said in an October interview with Vanity Fair, yeah, because I got the role now. That's why it needed it, because now I'm the lead. Now I get to play Snow White, right? I'm sure she's loving it. It's an 85-year-old cartoon, and our version is a refreshing story about a young woman who has a function beyond someday my prince will come. First off, Snow White was a sweetheart, right? She didn't just sit around waiting for a prince all day. How many people out there would love for their soulmate to come along, right? Everybody's out there looking for love. So I don't think there's anything wrong. It just so happens that she's a heterosexual woman, so she's excited for her prince to come. This isn't like a mind-bending idea. All of this was too much for the hate-spewing folks at the Daily Wire to handle, and they decided to take matters into their own hands. I like how evil they try to make it sound. No, it's really just Jeremy Boring just being like, bro, we're going to make anti-woke crap. Like, if you're going to keep making these woke nonsense films, we'll just make one that goes along with it. And more people will probably enjoy us because they're not getting politics shoved down their throat. Because I guarantee you, if there's one thing the Republicans hate, it's when politics are infused into their movies. Think about what would be like a conservative point in a movie? Guns? I mean, how many movies have guns in them? Almost all of them, right? You can tell me that's a conservative message there. And I love how they call the Daily Wire hate spewing. Like, what hate do they spew? I know that they can be a little rough on trans and LGBTQ people, but one of conservatives' biggest voices is Dave Rubin, who's a gay man. I think people get confused when people obsess over pronouns and say their pronouns aren't appropriate. Like, that's what they usually complain about. They don't actually say that LGBTQ people suck. They say that we don't want to have to say their pronouns. We don't want to have to do certain other things. So again, they're just like twisting these narratives. The article goes on to say that the Daily Wire fittingly named co-founder Jeremy Boring announced the company is launching Bent Key, a new kids entertainment brand for little conservatives who no longer support woke Disney. Take a young white girl, right? You don't think that it's going to have some effect with her that they're taking characters and making them go from being a white person to not a white person? You don't think that somewhere in there might be a little message that says, hey, we don't want her to be a white girl again because you know what? We don't like that. You don't think that somewhere that message could get out there? And again, I just want to say, I really don't care too much if you change up races moderately, but just make new characters, dude. Just make new characters. Why do you got to go change ones that people are like beloved characters nonetheless you're changing? He goes on to say, good luck, Boring. I'm sure kids won't mind at all with their conservative parents announce a family vacation to Ben Keyland instead of Disney World. See, this is just stupid. Like this, they have nothing to stand on. Everything is just like, there hasn't been one fact in this movie. This is an opinion piece. Anyway, Ben Key's first traditional values project will be their own live-action remake of Snow White, clunkily entitled Snow White and the Evil Queen. What's clunkily about that? They released a teaser trailer for the film today on Daily Wire Plus, which has been the saddest streamer on record. Again, this person has offered nothing of substance. They're just basically just like giving their opinion and making things up, trying to like direct the narrative of people. This is why people get so mind warped, because they read this article thinking that it's real. Also, I want to say that this has 103 downvotes and 71 upvotes, so that this person got destroyed. I'm gonna click the messages after this, but let's just finish this real quick. And it's really worth a hate watch. It's not bad so much as terrible. Think of it as the movie trailer equivalent to face slap emoji. If Disney critics want to be mad about something related to these live action remakes, at least have the decency to aim their ire at the lack of originality in choosing to regurgitate their entire animation library as live action films, which probably is the only thing I agree with in this whole entire article. Like, if you're going to get mad at something, get mad at Disney for taking characters who are beloved and bringing them back and just making, like, that's all Disney's doing, is they're taking their whole entire catalog and then making live action remakes of them. Why? Because nobody has any freaking idea of what to do, because trying to create stories that stay within their woke agenda is impossible. But that would be way too rational for level-headed for the fake news spreaders at the Daily Wire. Oh, now they're the fake news spreaders. Let's just hope the Disney version of Snow White doesn't change the poison apple to an avocado, or conservatives might really lose it. I want to read some of these comments. So the first comment says, mock all you want when the Daily Wire's version outsells the Disney version because it focuses on the source material and tells a good story rather than checking boxes. You'll be the one looking for an excuse. So look, yeah, it seems like a lot of people are hating on this article just like me. I'm getting real sick of both sides painting the other with such wide strokes. I can't disagree with that either. I feel like one of my biggest purposes for starting this channel was trying to bridge that divide between liberals and conservatives, trying to bring us together as Americans and showing that we need to be together. But for that to happen, first we have to get rid of the wokeness, the woke mind virus, because that's what's killing us all. The next comment says, my disdain for remakes of the Disney classics is this. What the hell is wrong with remembering that the original creators of these stories came from a different time? Get over it. Just like everything else that today's leftist society is trying to shove down our throats. Shad says, Disney's version with an actress who hates the character and story along with this opinionated Pradenda journalist are what's pathetic. Dude, this dude is just getting hammered in these comments for this article, which is so right? This is exactly why the Daily Wire is so popular, because they tap into what people are feeling in the moment. Anyway, I just found this and I wanted to read it to you real quick. I didn't want to make a big long video, but you know what? I have a lot to say about these topics because they mean something to me, right? I think our stories mean something to us, and changing them up to be modern day and push agendas that, believe it or not everybody agrees with is just messing us up, I think. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Write in the comments what you think. Do you think that Disney is doing the right thing by recasting all these characters, or would you like to see more of a traditional approach to these things? Anyway, EG lately, peace out.